Welcome to the deep dive. We all sort of know the Jonah story, don't we? The highlights anyway. Reluctant prophet, big fish, the city gets saved. But maybe the real story, the deeper stuff, isn't just the miracles.
Right. Maybe it's actually in Jonah's, well, his very human flaws, his stubbornness, and maybe God's relentless, almost surprising mercy in the face of it all.
Today we're going to peel back the layers of this really ancient story, but one that feels surprisingly relatable. We're diving right into the book of Jonah.
And just be clear, we're sticking entirely to the text itself.
Exactly. And our mission for this deep dive, it's to get past just the Sunday school version. We want to uncover maybe some uncomfortable truths, the unexpected lessons.
And the really profound questions this short book raises about second chances, divine compassion, and maybe hardest of all, our own struggles with empathy.
Yeah, get ready to maybe rethink what you thought you knew about Jonah. So, okay, let's dive in at the very beginning. The story kicks off famously with this divine command to Jonah, son of Amittai. And it's so direct, almost blunt.
Go to the great city of Nineveh and preach against it, because its wickedness has come up before me. Yeah, incredibly direct.
And Nineveh, for an Israelite prophet like Jonah, this wasn't just any city, was it?
Oh, absolutely not. Nineveh was the capital of Syria. Brutal empire, expansionist, Israel's sworn enemy. Sending him there wasn't just a spiritual mission.
It feels political.
Deeply political, and you have to imagine, personally repulsive for Jonah. It immediately sets up this conflict. Is he just scared? Or is he maybe running from the idea that God might actually show mercy to them, his enemies?
And his reaction is immediate. He just bolts opposite direction, towards Tarshish.
The text is clear. He ran away from the Lord, goes to Joppa, finds a ship, pays the fare. It's all very deliberate. Actively fleeing.
This isn't just like hesitating. It's a full-on engineered escape plan. Pretty bold for a prophet.
It really is. A sprint against God's command. And, well, the Lord's response, it's just as immediate and overwhelming.
Right. Sent a great wind on the sea, and such a violent storm arose that the ship threatened to break up. This isn't just bad luck.
No way. It's presented as a direct intervention, a cosmic pushback aimed right at Jonah's running away.
And you can just picture the chaos on that ship, right? The sailors, terrified, praying to their own gods, throwing cargo overboard, anything to survive.
Utter panic. But then there's Jonah.
Yeah, where is he? Sleep. Down below deck, in a deep sleep. The contrast is kind of stunning.
It really is. The world's falling apart around him, and he's just checked out. Is it denial? Exhaustion from the sheer effort of defying God? Spiritual shutdown?
We don't know for sure, but it's striking. And it takes the captain, ironically, a non-Hebrew captain, to shake him awake.
Get up and call on your God. Maybe he will take notice of us and we will not perish. The pagan captain has more spiritual urgency than the actual prophet here.
So the sailors, totally desperate now, they decide to cast lots. Let's find out who's responsible for this mess.
And of course, the lot fell on Jonah. It wasn't just random chance in their minds, right? Casting lots was kind of an ancient way of seeking divine answers.
Like asking the universe or God to point the finger.
Exactly. And it points right at Jonah. So they press him. Who are you? What have you done?
And his confession is, well, it's quite something. I am a Hebrew, and I worship the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the land.
And then the clincher. He admits he's running away from that God. The text says this terrified them.
You bet it did. They immediately grasped the implications. You're running from the guy who controls the very sea that's about to kill us.
Precisely. And the sea just keeps getting worse, rougher and rougher. And it's Jonah himself who gives them the only way out.
Pick me up and throw me into the sea. I know that it is my fault that this great storm has come upon you.
It's an admission, yeah, but also sounds like he's kind of giving up, almost choosing his own punishment. It does. But what's fascinating is the sailors' reaction. They don't just do it immediately.
Right. They hesitate. They actually try to row back to land first. These supposedly pagan sailors show this unexpected reluctance to, well, kill him.
They really try. But the sea just won't let them. Only then, when they have absolutely no other choice, do they pray. Not to their gods, but to Jonah's God.
Oh, Lord, please do not let us die for taking this man's life. For you, O Lord, have done as you pleased. It's this incredible moment of recognition from them.
A real acknowledgement of a higher power controlling events. And then they throw him overboard.
And instantly, calm. The raging sea grew calm. Just like that. The effect must have been profound.
Absolutely. It wasn't just proof Jonah was the cause. It was a massive revelation for those sailors. Their response. Immediate.
They greatly feared the Lord, and they offered a sacrifice to the Lord and made vows to him. It's like a mini conversion story right there on the boat.
It really is. A moment of grace amidst the chaos. But Jonah isn't left to drown.
No. Even in his defiance, there's this strange kind of provision. The Lord provided a great fish to swallow Jonah.
And Jonah was inside the fish 3 days and 3 nights. It's terrifying being swallowed alive, but it's also a kind of rescue, isn't it? A bizarre, confined salvation. A timeout, maybe.
A very serious timeout. And from that highly unusual prayer spot from inside the fish, Jonah finally prays.
And it's raw, it's desperate. He talks about being hurled into the deep, waves and breakers sweeping over him, seaweed wrapped around my head.
He paints this vivid picture of hitting rock bottom, literally feeling like he's sinking to the roots of the mountains, utter despair.
Total despair. But then there's a shift, a turning point in the prayer.
When my life was ebbing away, I remembered you, Lord, and my prayer rose to you, to your holy temple. Even in the belly of the fish, in the darkest place, he remembers God.
And he reflects, doesn't he? Those who cling to worthless idols forfeit the grace that could be theirs. Sounds like he's not just talking about pagan idols anymore.
No, maybe he's talking about his own idol of escaping God's plan, his own stubborn will.
Could be. It feels like self-realization.
Uh-huh.
And then comes the commitment. But I, with a song of thanksgiving, will sacrifice to you what I have vowed I will make good. It's a promise made from the depths.
And the core realization, the absolute takeaway from this whole ordeal, sung from inside a fish, salvation comes from the Lord. Crystal clear.
Absolutely. And God's response is immediate.
Mm.
And the Lord commanded the fish, and it vomited Jonah onto dry land.
Just like that. Delivered. Expelled. It's like a physical rebirth, isn't it? After 3 days in the tomb.
A very visceral second chance. And that's exactly what he gets. The word of the Lord comes to him again. A second time.
Same instruction. Go to the great city of Nineveh and proclaim to it the message I give you. No wiggle room.
And this time, the text just says, Jonah obeyed the word of the Lord and went to Nineveh.
Simple as that. No running, no ships. Just obedience. That ordeal in the fish, it clearly had an effect, at least on his actions.
On his actions, yes. Whether it changed his heart, well, we'll see. But he goes. And Nineveh, this place he dreaded, it's described as a very important city, needing 3 days just to walk across. Huge place.
Emphasizes the scale of the task, right? This isn't some small village.
Not at all. So Jonah walks in, just a day's journey, and delivers his message. And the message itself is, well, pretty minimal.
40 more days and Nineveh will be overturned. That's it. Short, sharp, almost sounds like he's just ticking a box. No passionate pleading here.
Seems that way. But then comes the truly astonishing part, the reaction.
Yeah, this is maybe the biggest surprise in the whole book. The Ninevites believed God. Immediately. The whole city.
They declared a fast, and all of them, from the greatest to the least, put on sackcloth. It's this massive collective act of repentance, unprecedented for a city known for its wickedness. It just wasn't expected.
And it goes right to the top. The king hears about it, and his reaction is just as dramatic.
Gets off his throne, takes off his royal robes, puts on sackcloth, and sits in the dust. That's peak humiliation, a powerful symbol of sorrow and repentance in that culture.
He doesn't just do it himself either. He issues a decree for the whole city.
A sweeping decree. No food or water for man or beast. Everyone, even the animals, covered in sackcloth. He tells them to call urgently on God and, crucially, give up their evil ways and their violence.
It's a call for real, tangible change, not just symbolic gestures.
Exactly. And the king ends his decree with this note of hope, almost a question. Who knows? God may yet relent and with compassion turn from his fierce anger so that we will not perish.
He's hoping for mercy, even though they know they deserve judgment.
And remarkably, that hope is met. When God saw what they did and how they turned from their evil ways, he had compassion and did not bring upon them the destruction he had threatened.
God relents, mercy wins. It's this incredible demonstration of divine compassion responding to genuine repentance, even for the bad guys.
It highlights that repentance really matters, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It can actually change the outcome. It's a powerful moment of grace.
But this is the kicker, isn't it? The twist. How does Jonah react to this amazing display of mercy?
But Jonah was greatly displeased and became angry. Furious, actually.
He's angry because God didn't destroy the city after all that.
Yes. And he tells God exactly why. He prays, or rather complains to God, saying basically, I knew it. I knew this would happen.
I knew that you are a gracious and compassionate God, slow to anger and abounding in love, a God who relents from sending calamity. He throws God's own character back in his face.
As an accusation, he's saying, this is why I ran away in the first place. I didn't want you to forgive them.
Wow. So his problem wasn't that he doubted God's power or even his mercy.
No, his problem was that he didn't want God extending that mercy to Nineveh, to his enemies. His sense of justice, his nationalistic feelings maybe, they just couldn't handle God being gracious to them.
It's such a human reaction, though, isn't it? That struggle when someone we dislike or someone who's hurt us receives kindness or forgiveness.
Deeply human. It's that clash between our desire for retribution and the possibility of undeserved grace for others. And Jonah is just completely consumed by it. He even asks God to just take his life. It is better for me to die than to live.
He'd rather die than see his enemies spared. And God's response, so simple, yet it cuts right through.
Have you any right to be angry? Just lays the question out there. Doesn't condemn him immediately, just asks him to examine his own heart.
But Jonah doesn't really answer, does he? He just goes out of the city, builds a little shelter, and sits there sulking, basically, waiting to see what happens next.
Yeah, still hoping maybe God will change his mind and zap the city after all. And then God sets up this object lesson that's quite brilliant, really.
The vine. God makes a vine grow up quickly, providing shade for Jonah. And Jonah is very happy about this vine. A little bit of comfort.
He clings to that comfort, doesn't he? Even though he did nothing to deserve it or grow it.
But then, next day, God sends a worm.
Right. God provided the vine, now God provides the worm. The worm attacks the vine, it withers and dies.
And then, a scorching east wind, blazing sun. Jonah is miserable again, fainting, wishing for death again, over a plant.
And God asks him again the same kind of question. Do you have a right to be angry about the vine?
And this time Jonah answers defiantly, I do. I'm angry enough to die.
He's more passionate about this dead plant that gave him temporary shade than he was about the lives of thousands of people. The irony is just tick.
It really is. The man saved from the sea, saved by a fish, beneficiary of God's mercy himself, is the least merciful person in the whole story.
And that's when God delivers the final lesson, the concluding argument. He draws the contrast.
You're so upset about this vine, Jonah. A plant you didn't plant, didn't grow. It was here one day, gone the next. You cared deeply about this temporary thing.
But Nineveh has more than 120,000 people who cannot tell their right hand from their left.
That phrase, cannot tell their right hand from their left. What's the thinking there? Is it young children or people who are spiritually unaware?
Interpretations vary. Could be children, symbolizing innocence. Could be metaphorical for spiritual ignorance, people who don't fully grasp the moral implications of their actions. Either way, it emphasizes vulnerability and need.
And God adds, and many cattle as well, which seems like an odd detail, but maybe it's not.
It drives home the point even further, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
God's concern is vast. It extends beyond just humans who get it. It includes the innocent, the ignorant, even the animals. God cares about the whole creation within that city.
So God lays out this huge scope of his concern and then hits Jonah and us with that final question.
The question that just hangs there at the end of the book.
Yeah.
Should I not be concerned about that great city?
And the book just ends. No answer from Jonah. It leaves the question with us. So wrapping this up, what do we take away? We've gone from, Jonah running away to the fish, the amazing repentance of a whole city, and then this really stark lesson about God's compassion versus Jonah's anger.
It really shows how incredibly broad God's mercy can be, right?
Yeah.
Way beyond what we might expect or even think is fair. And it shows how challenging it can be for us as humans to accept that mercy when it's shown to others, especially those we don't like.
Yeah, this ancient story, it really does hit on timeless themes, doesn't it? Second chances, humility, the surprising reach of compassion. It definitely pushes you to think about your own views on judgment and mercy.
Who are we quick to judge? Who do we secretly, or maybe not so secretly, hope doesn't get forgiven? Jonah holds up a pretty uncomfortable mirror sometimes.
So maybe a final thought for you to chew on. If the story ends with God expressing concern not just for over 100,000 people who are vulnerable or perhaps unaware, but even for the cattle in Nineveh, what does that challenge us to think about?
Right. What should be the scope of our own empathy, our own concern? Does it stop with people like us? Or does this ancient story push us to widen that circle, maybe far wider than we're comfortable with? Something to definitely keep thinking about.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep getting well informed. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.